Shockwaves surrounding the tragic death of Robin Williams continue to reverberate as new details paint a heartbreaking picture about the dark side of the actor who brought so much joy to so many fans. On screen, his performances were explosive, energetic, and wildly inventive. But Robin Williams' brilliance in front of the camera concealed a private sadness. Tonight, inside the last moments of a legend, it's the life and death of Robin Williams.
I miss him, and I'm sure you guys do too. What a gift he was to all of us.
It's just shocking how fragile life is.
I was a kid. It was like the first time I saw an actual human being be as funny as Bugs Bunny.
As Hollywood mourns the death of one of its brightest stars, authorities in Marin County revealing new details today, confirming the sad truth about how Williams died.
The preliminary, and I again say preliminary, results of the forensic examination revealed supporting physical signs that Mr. Williams' life ended from asphyxia due to hanging.
The actor apparently hung himself with a belt, but that wasn't all they found.
The inside of Mr. Williams' left wrist had several acute superficial transverse cuts. A pocket knife with a closed blade was located in close proximity to Mr. Williams.
His wife, Susan Schneider, told police she last saw her husband around 10:30 Sunday night, but that the couple had slept in separate beds.
Mr. Williams was last seen alive by his wife at approximately 10:30 p.m. on August 10th, 2014, when she retired for the evening in a room in the home.
And when she woke up the next morning, she didn't see him.
At approximately 10:30 a.m. on August 11th, 2014, Mr. Williams' wife left the home, believing Mr. Williams to still be asleep.
But just before noon, after Williams failed to answer the door, his assistant grew concerned.
At that time, the personal assistant was able to gain access to Mr. Williams' bedroom and entered the bedroom to find Mr. Williams clothed in a seated position, unresponsive,
and called 911.
Parent suicide attempt by hanging.
Please respond.
Affirm, they are responding.
Had Williams been drinking that night after his repeated struggles with alcohol? We won't know for a few weeks, but at today's press conference, the discussion of a note raised eyebrows.
We're not discussing the note or a note at this point, as the investigation is ongoing, and that information will be discussed at a future time at the concluding press conference.
Williams had been battling a severe depression and was seeking treatment for it. It's a disease millions suffer from, as many as 1 in every 10 Americans.
And I think the reason that we misunderstand depression so much is that you can't show me depression on an x-ray. You can't show me a quart of depression.
To the outside world, Williams was the hilarious...
Ladies, how about this? Instead of breast implants, speakers. Wouldn't that be cool?
Larger than life.
I was like, yeah, this is fun, yay!
And wholly original comedian.
We're gonna play Lizzie Borden?
Who made others laugh.
Swack, boom, gone!
His depression and substance abuse was something he'd struggled with for years. He checked into rehab most recently last month.
It's what we call a dual diagnosis scenario, where you have someone that is dealing with the struggles of addiction through the years, and then you put depression on top of that, and the interaction between the two is multiplicative.
Take care, kids. I'm on my way to Dublin.
He was brutally honest about his fight for sobriety, both in his stand-up routine.
Because you see, as an alcoholic, you will violate your standards quicker than you can lower them.
And in candid interviews, like this one with Diane Sawyer in 2006, after he got out of a stint in rehab.
Was there one moment that you fell into it again? Was it one day?
No, it's very gradual. You're standing at a precipice and you look down. There's a voice, and it's a little quiet voice that goes, jump. It's the same voice. The same voice goes, just one. There's a voice that goes, jump. And the idea of just one.
How hard was it to talk to your kids, your wife?
It's hard admitting it, and then once you've done that, it's real easy. Trying to keep up the pretense, and they know. The sad thing is, for most people who drink, is that you think that people don't notice. And then you find out later on, we knew.
Williams also had open-heart surgery to replace his aortic valve, a surgery that some in the medical community have linked to depression.
It is a risk factor that is looked at post-surgically. You want to pay attention to folks that they're unable to engage the world. It kind of visits your mortality.
Williams discussed his own mortality with our Barbara Walters less than 2 years after his surgery.
You said that the surgery was humbling.
Totally. This is the big one. This is the one where they're dealing with the ticker, the main. The only other one that's more invasive is brain surgery.
But it wasn't just health issues. Williams also had stress in his personal life. He was twice divorced and was honest about the financial pain it caused, telling Parade magazine, "Divorce is expensive. I used to joke they were going to call it all the money, but they changed it to alimony. It's ripping your heart out through your wallet." In that same interview, he said he was downsizing his life and could no longer afford his 653-acre weekend estate in California's Napa Valley. He listed Villa Cerezo, or Villa of Smiles, for nearly $30 million shortly before he died. The 20,000-square-foot 5-bedroom estate features a massive home theater, tennis courts, and beautiful views of the Napa Valley. And the home is still on the market. His professional life may have proved stressful as well. Last year, he returned to TV once again for a CBS show called The Crazy Ones, telling Parade magazine that, quote, "the idea of having a steady job is appealing." But the show was canceled this past May after just one season due to poor ratings. Robin Williams spent his final days in Marin County, just outside San Francisco, where the huge star was a seemingly regular guy.
You know, he really was nice to all the neighbors. Really appreciated his kindness.
I loved his sense of humor. I loved the spontaneity of his life.
An avid cyclist, Williams had almost 100 bikes in his collection.
He just loved cycling. I mean, it was his outlet.
He took them to this repair shop. The owner, Tony Tom, was Williams' close friend and biking partner.
So, you know, we'll all miss him.
Tony says biking gave Williams some peace and tranquility.
He came shortly after John Belushi passed away from a drug overdose. And he needed some kind of an outlet. He said, "Tony, you know, cycling saved my life." And he said, "You know, biking is a whole lot better for you than cocaine."
But the legendary comedian and movie star was also known for championing the underdogs.
Oh, look, it's showtime!
Using his star power to bring attention to issues like homelessness in movies like The Fisher King.
One more thing. Never take your eye off the ball!
Even testifying on Capitol Hill about the issue.
I've seen firsthand how homelessness affects children.
And his lasting work with the USO, lifting the spirits of almost 90,000 servicemen and women stationed overseas.
But I come here for you, because I believe you're a man.
And across the country, landmarks that Williams made famous over the course of his storied career are now memorials. That bench in Boston from Good Will Hunting.
You move, Chief.
Now surrounded by tributes written in chalk. That movie launched the careers of two unknowns, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, and earned all 3 Oscars. Today, Affleck shared his heartfelt emotions. He made Matt and my dreams come true. What do you owe a guy who does that? Everything. Judging from the tributes of fans from all over the world, almost everyone felt they owed a lot to Robin Williams.
You don't know about real loss, because that only occurs when you love something more than you love yourself.
In the end, perhaps Williams loved making his fans happy more than he loved himself. But his loss is ours as well.
An epic talent, a lasting legacy.